What's up, guys?
Guys, this is the Handlebar Podcast YouTube channel.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
This is our YouTube channel.
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
Where we do videos.
For you.
Yes. Because we love you.
All right, two important things. Two serious important things. Number one, the podcast is listener funded. So every donation, if you've made a donation, thank you so much. You have funded the podcast. If you have not made a donation, let me tell you, the Handlebar Podcast is donor funded. That's the term. Donor funded. We are donor funded.
It means you can donate to us
on our website.
And that's how we are able to make episodes.
Which is thehandlebarpodcast.com.
Yes. Also, we have merch. We actually have new merch. So you can check it out.
Get some.
Also on
Let me get some. I'll show it to you right now. Let me get some.
Yeah.
I can't show it and
we
talk.
have yeah, of course. I'll hold it for you.
All right, so this is one piece we have. Wow! Check it out. Check it out. One of our episode favorites.
Handlebars.
Boom. And this one.
Can we open this?
Yeah, open it.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but open it. Why? Wait. Is that how you open packages? This would look nice in the summer. Wearing it to the pool.
Yeah, honestly, it's cool.
Yeah, it's fire. It really is fire.
It's kind of new for me.
All right, you can get this. You can get our classic merch, like our sweaters, mugs, totes, all on our website, thehandlebarpodcast.com. We're listener funded.
We're listener funded.
Wait.
How many times are you going to say
I'm just trying to say the two important things.
Bro.
Number 3, we love you. Thank you for listening.
We do love you.
To the Handlebar Podcast.
Welcome to the Handlebar Podcast.
Well, welcome back to the Handlebar Podcast. Today we are doing sessions. It's different, right? We do 10-minute conversations.
We do.
I feel like y'all already know.
Y'all already
it's just
know.
2 of us, just me and Aaron today.
That's right.
The homies. We're in Aaron's house.
We are.
Right before we started this, Aaron asked Rosie if we got this, and she just shook her head no.
Yeah, she said no. But you know
there will never be a greater blow to your confidence.
That's true.
Than a 3-year-old, 2.5-year-old. How old is Rosie? 3.
3.5.
3-year-old telling you, we'll see if you got this.
We'll see. Pressure's on.
The pressure's on.
The pressure wasn't on.
We'll see. Yo,
the chair
this rocking chair almost took me out, huh?
Well, hey, that rocking chair's an heirloom, so.
Really?
Yeah, it was from
I feel like I'm receiving wisdom from this chair.
Well, watch out for the little crack in the side right there because it's pinched my elbow before and it hurts.
Well, I'm protected.
All right.
I feel great in this chair.
Let's jump into the question, boys.
Let's do it.
You got the question for us?
Yeah. Yes, I do. You guys can't see me, but
we can hear you.
You can hear me. All right. The question is anonymous, but this person is 20 years old.
It's from anonymous.
But from anonymous.
20 years old.
20 years old. They're from San Francisco. And this person asked, how do you get over a person you've never dated?
Wait, say that again?
How do you get over a person you've never dated?
From 20 years old.
20 years old.
Okay, so the question is, how do you get over a person you've never dated?
From San Francisco.
I know.
All right, I got you.
I know why the question is anonymous now.
Yeah, that could be a hard one. Wait, can we do a timer?
Yes, but I don't have my phone. Do you have
10
yours?
minutes? Yes.
For a timer? Have you been to San Francisco?
Me? Yeah,
Yes.
I've been to San Francisco.
Here's my
Are we starting
unpopular opinion.
Okay, tell me.
That I like San Francisco better than I like New York City.
That's crazy. But
is it crazy because you're from New York City?
Well, I mean, maybe. But San Francisco is just not on the same level.
San Francisco is beautiful. It's sunny.
It's hilly. It's the out of breath city. I almost died in San Francisco. I had a bird scooter and I hit the brakes on it and the brakes stopped working. And I was going straight into traffic and I had to throw the scooter.
Yo, those bird scooters.
I love them.
That's a rabbit trail.
But in
all right,
another
how
city,
do I get over someone I've never dated?
This is a good question.
All right, start a timer. Kick us off.
All right, here we go.
I like this question.
Well, me too.
Whoever anonymous is, I appreciate the question. I like good questions. I feel like this is a good question.
Well, part of why I like this question is because I've had to do this before.
Well, start us off then.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking about a time when I was dating someone. We had been in a relationship for a long time, but they didn't know that we were dating. It was just in my head.
So you weren't really dating.
No, like,
But to you,
yes,
you
and
created a whole
this is what
narrative.
I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. I wouldn't have told you that at the time, but that's what was happening.
like you thought y'all had a thing.
Oh yeah, it was like by that time, like I'm reading into her texts. I'm gonna send her a song, and it's this whole thing happening in my head. Meanwhile, she has no idea. Like she doesn't know. And what I want to say about that is fantasy is dangerous.
Fantasy is dangerous.
Fantasy is very dangerous because I'll give you the two options there. If you find yourself in that place where you have developed an attachment to a person, but they're not included in the conversation or the attachment, you have two options. You can either, if you can talk to them about it, share your feelings. What you have to realize is you're going to be way more charged than they are because you care way more what happens. They haven't had the time to develop any feelings for you. So you have that. So you got to be mindful of that. Or if you have to go through the process of getting rejected by them, it's going to hurt a lot more. And so what I would say to you is something a friend said to me, which is honor the crush. I love this advice. It basically says, when you start to have those feelings, make a decision. Am I gonna talk to this person about them, or am I gonna shut these feelings down? But the middle ground is a bunch of mess of developing attachments and strange stuff. It's not the place you want to be. Fantasy is not the place you want to be.
I can relate to what you're saying. I think about Anonymous asking this question. And if I were sitting with him or her, I would probably tell this story. You know, sometimes when you have a question and you're like, I don't know that I have wisdom to give you, but I do have a story.
100%.
I have a story. And so when I was in school, college, not high school, I met this girl that I very quickly, I had a crush, the crush grew. And then all of a sudden I was probably at the place where you were saying you were at, where in my mind it was like, oh, she likes me, I like her. But I didn't have the guts to tell her I liked her. Yeah. I didn't have the courage to say hey, I want to ask you on a date. Here's why I'm texting you all the time. Here's why I'm always trying to be around you. Here's why I'm sitting by you in class. Here's all of these things. I just kept sitting by her in class. I just kept texting her. I just kept putting myself in environments where she was. Well, all of a sudden now I'm like, it's what you're saying, reading into every interaction. Then you're getting prophetic words and you're filtering those prophetic words through this girl. And you're living in this entire fantasy that we have a thing and we are maybe not in a relationship yet, but we're we're into each other and it's unspoken. And it's all of a sudden you're living in a world of toxicity. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah. That you didn't even mean to be in. So anyways, fast forward for me.
It's a mess.
This lasted for me for 3 years.
Wow.
3 years. To the point to where I was so I couldn't date other people. I had dabbled in other relationships, but
you're thinking about this girl.
Yes. Who for me, it's this now at this point, this massive we have history. It's been going on for years. All the while for her, I'm just her friend.
Right.
But for me, I'm no, we're a thing. We've been a thing. We've gone back and forth. We've done the cat and mouse thing. And now 3 years into it, it ended. I'm giving a really long story really, really quickly, but it ended with finally I told her how I felt.
Wow.
And I will never forget the night where it was at night. We were sitting in my car and I just went for it. And I was like, I like you. I want to be in a relationship with you. And I will never forget her kind of giggling, thinking are you serious? Is this a joke? After all these years of our friendship, are you sure you like me type thing? And I was like, yes, I like you. Wait. And I was thrown off by her response. And I'm like, wait, you like me too though? And she's like, no, I don't. But here's the thing about that conversation. When I got clarity, what had been 3 years of a massive weight in my life, in a moment ended.
Yes.
In a moment, I was able to get over the person that I never realized that I was unable to get over because I didn't say something.
Yes.
And so I think the reason I tell that story is if there's someone, the question is, how do you get over someone you've never dated? Well, I would say, have you told that person that you like them?
Right.
And given space for you to either take a step into a relationship or for there to be closure that maybe that person doesn't need. Like that day that I had that conversation, she didn't need closure.
You needed it.
I needed closure.
Yeah.
And the moment she was able to say, whoa, we're just friends.
Because it killed the fantasy.
It killed the fantasy that could have been killed years ago had I honored the crush.
2 weeks in.
What you're saying, 2 weeks in.
It could have been a very different conversation.
And very
with
different.
way less pressure and weight on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to this day, I look back at that season, and now that was, gosh, over 10 years ago. That was over a decade ago. And now it's funny to think of how much power I gave that fantasy because I never said something.
Just because you never said something. And that's what's so crazy. I'm thinking of I think it's Proverbs 4:23. Guard your heart.
Let's look it up. Proverbs.
Well, now you're gonna test me.
Bible.
Yeah.
What did you say? Proverbs
That was my
4:23?
sword drill.
I think it's Proverbs 3, but maybe it's Proverbs 4.
Well, everybody rebuke me.
Proverbs. What did you say? 4:23.
Yeah.
This is the test right here. How well does Rafi know his word? 4:23. Keep your heart with all diligence. Woo! For out of it springs the issues of life.
I was praying
and put
in
away
tongues.
from you a deceitful mouth and put perverse lips far from you.
Yes.
Let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you.
And that is what happens when you are living in a fantasy. Your eyes are not straight ahead. Your eyes are over here or over there.
It's true.
And the way I would describe it is it's like water without a water bottle. Your heart needs clarity. It needs boundaries. It needs things to protect it. But when you're in a weird fantasy, I'm kind of on my own doing this, trying to see, does she like me? Does she not? I'm telling everybody else but this person that I like them. What's happening is it's like having this flowing water from your heart, but you don't have a vessel for it to go into. And so it gets on everything. It makes a mess. It will not just stop with this relationship. It will get on every area of your life, causing messes. And there's just no way that you living in a fantasy will only affect that part of your life. And I want to say that's why this is important, to guard your heart.
To guard your heart.
And to do this well. For the sake of even your own heart, but then obviously also the other person's heart. Because when you're developing a friendship with someone and you like them secretly, it's also lying to them. Because they're thinking, oh, you're doing this out of just the motivation of being a friend. But meanwhile, you have an ulterior motive behind some of the things you're doing.
Yes.
So, which is okay. I'm not like here to condemn you, but I am saying there is a better way. There is a higher way that's clean.
Yes.
Where you're protected and they're protected. And I do want to throw out there, if you do like a person, the answer is going to usually be talking to them about it, especially if you already have a relationship.
Bro, because here's what we do. We talk to everybody else about it. Yes. Like, bro, I like so-and-so. Bro, I like so-and-so. Bro, but we don't ever tell so-and-so. And then it grows into this thing, and just ask her out.
Yeah.
Tell her how you feel.
Yeah. And receive the clarity of no and getting rejected, which is good for your heart, especially if you've been living in a fantasy, or accept the invitation, which I will say, dating that person is going to have other challenges because the person you've been dating in your head isn't that person. You've been making up a whole fantasy person in your head. And so you're going to have to go through a process of learning who that person really is from a place of just having all these attachments. So either way, you're going to have to face those feelings because they're very real. Though they came from fantasy, your heart believes that they're real. And that's why it's so weighty. But I would encourage you to definitely talk to the person.
The lack of clarity. Is it Brene Brown who says clarity is kind?
Yeah.
Is that her phrase? I know it's a phrase that's been popular around our community, but clarity is kind. And I think of the lack of clarity is like blurry lenses.
Yes.
Like you start interpreting everything, you start seeing things through the way you want to see it. And it's because you don't have clarity, so you start making up a narrative of what you think could be clear based on the intentions and what was said. Is that the timer? And I think the deeper diagnosis probably behind a question like this is the fear around being bold in asking a girl out.
Yeah.
No, maybe anonymous is from a girl who she's having a fantasy over a guy. It could be that way too, which I think in that that scenario, I think it's fair game to put yourself out there and say, hey, I'm interested. That's my opinion, you know, for women. I think sometimes women feel the pressure of like, I can't say anything. I think you can say something.
I agree with you. I think you can say something. I don't think you should take on the position of a pursuer ever.
Right.
Your heart was designed to be pursued, not to be the pursuer. But saying, I am interested in you, I've had feelings, especially when you're friends with someone, it is a kind thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and
then
you get clarity, but I think I started to say that because I feel like the deeper diagnosis I see is there's a deep embedded fear, oftentimes in young men, specifically in today's world, that we don't want to be clear. We don't want to just ask her out. We want to like, let me DM on Instagram and see if she DMs
and I would
back.
say from talking to them, usually the fear is I don't want to be rejected.
Right.
I don't want to put myself on the line because I don't want to be rejected.
Right. Wow.
Which you've already been accepted, so you can't be rejected. 2:4. You've already been accepted by the Father. And so that to me, if you're dealing with that, it's not a problem that dating can solve. It's a problem only your Father can solve, and receiving your identity from Him. Yeah. A son dating someone looks like, I'll put my whole heart on the line. Hey, I have these feelings for you. You can't reject me. Even if you're not interested, you can't reject me. I'm a son. I know who I am. Yeah.
So okay, what timer went off.
A daughter.
What is a practical around a question for this? What is a handlebar for getting over someone you've never dated? I have so many thoughts that are running through my head. I'm like, oh, we could talk about this for a long time. And there's probably someone listening going, I wish you would. But for the sake of the session, you know, shorter episode.
If I would say, if you find yourself in the position of anonymous, asking, how do I get over this person? I would say you're probably beyond the point in your heart where you could just say, I can just get over these feelings on my own. If you're at that place, you probably do need to have a conversation. And so what I would say is seek wisdom on how to have the conversation. And go to a person that's older, a person that's more experienced, maybe a person that's married, and ask them for wisdom on how to have the conversation in a way that protects your heart and protects their heart. But share, I have these feelings, or this has been what's going on, especially if you have a friendship with the person. Be honest.
Yeah, I love that. I think sometimes in the dating realm, especially in the church, you throw in following the Lord, you throw in the supernatural and the prophetic. A lot of times we play the God card even in subtle ways when it comes to dating, in a way that I think hinders us from just trying it. Like I think I heard a story this week of a guy who asked out a girl, and her response to him was, let me pray about it. And okay, I get it, pray about it, but let me ask you a question. Do you want to go on that date?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to go on the date. But he's not asking you to marry him. Yeah. Go on the date. If you don't want to go on the date, tell him no. Thank you, but I don't want to go on the date. And so I think being clear and sometimes separating the mystical, prophetic around a date. Like a date doesn't mean you're getting married. A date is a date. A date can be fun. A date should be fun. I think a first date, I think someone like this, anonymous, you're wanting to ask out whoever it may be.
Rosie is playing
hard right now with her Encanto dollhouse. I think that was something that shifted for me when I asked out Sarah Beth. Yeah. A lot of you know the story. You can find it. It's on a previous session. But I had always kind of dabbled in, that's why I had the story that I had of getting caught up in a fantasy, because I had never been bold to just ask a girl out. And Sarah Beth was actually the first one that I ever just clearly stated my intentions from the beginning. And, you know, now we're sitting in a room while my daughter's playing with a dollhouse, and it was, look what came from it, you know.
A lot of fruit.
And so I want to encourage the guys out there to, yes, pursue a girl, but be bold and ask her out. Ask her on a date. Ask her.
Call him higher, Aaron.
Yeah, take her to a. You know, we're in Dallas. Take her to a Mavs game. Take her to a Stars game. Take her to dinner.
Yeah.
Go to a park. Go somewhere and get to know someone. And
you will feel part of your heart come alive that has probably been shut down as you do this as a man. And I know we're guys, so we're speaking to guys. But I would say in this culture, especially in church, it's very normal to develop like unclear relationships. In the name, like almost in the name of like, oh, well, like I'm not dating right now, but I will hang out with you until 2 a.m. and like have really deep talks. Well, your heart doesn't know the difference. Your heart is getting to know that person in an intimate way. Here's what I'll say. Put a structure to it.
Yes.
It will be better for them and be better for you.
Yes.
That demystifies dating for me. You're probably already going on dates.
Yes.
You're just not calling them dates. So what I would encourage you to do is call them dates.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got there, but
Don't ask her
I
just
feel
to
like
hang.
that was good.
Ask her on a date.
Yeah,
Can I
don't
take
let
you
it be
on
that
a date?
weird. All our other friends left, and here we are.
Here's
in the
my
parking
handlebar.
lot.
Here's my handlebar. Here it is. Can I take you on a date? Is this the camera? Here's the handlebar. Can I take
I feel
you
like we've
on
said
a
this
date?
like 5 times.
I think
and
that's
still
the phrase.
true.
Use that phrase.
Yes.
Use that phrase to her. Can I take you on a date? And watch what'll happen. Either the fantasy will end at the end of that sentence, or
Right.
you're going to find yourself in a date, and now the fantasy is going to be a reality, and it actually is starting a relationship. It's in the beginning.
Let's
it's in the
go.
origin. It's
Boom.
so. I bless you, Anonymous from San Francisco. In San Francisco, take her to, what is it? Fisherman's Wharf. Fisherman's
Hey.
Wharf is fire. Go get fish and chips. Ask her to fish and chips on Fisherman's Wharf. Go watch the seals, and then go watch the sunset at the Golden Gate Bridge. Boom. And get Blue Bottle coffee.
You're cute. You're cute with your date ideas. You're very romantic.
That's right.
You're a sweet guy. Then what do you mean?
Oh, if Anonymous is a girl. Bo, I said, what if Anonymous is a girl? What into here? If Anonymous is a girl,
That's good.
put yourself out there. If it's a guy that you're in a friendship with, just say, hey, I'm interested.
Yeah, I would say
Put yourself out there.
I would say the same. I would say the same thing. Like if you find yourself in that kind of situation where it just feels unclear, go for clarity. Yeah. Go for clarity. It's good for both of you. Some girls, you need to shut these guys down. I don't know why I'm feeling this right now. I think on the girls' end, the passivity can come from, well, I don't want to be mean. But what's more mean is I know he likes me, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just let it feels good. Like I would say on the flip side, there's also a call to just be clear, because being clear is kind. And say I don't have feelings for you in that way. At all. And just be clear. That is so much more kind. In the moment it may hurt, but it will be better in the long run, 100%.
Clarity is kind. That's our session.
Boom.
Boom. We love you. Thanks for listening. Hope it helps.
Hi, I'm Maggie Berlander. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm a listener of the Handlebar podcast. One thing I love about the podcast is how real it feels to me. I feel like every time I listen, it speaks into a lot of topics that I don't hear from a lot of other podcasts. And so every time I just am reminded how authentic it feels to me. And so if you love this podcast too, you should like and subscribe and send it to a friend, your family, your crush, all the people. That's it. Wait, no. Actually, I wanted to read that part. Yeah, because I think